Hello everyone, welcome to Virtual Book Talks for birth through third grade. My name is Chelsea and I'm a children's librarian at the Grandview Library, and I'm so excited to share some different titles with you today. So we're going to start with some board books for babies and work our way up to about third grade level suggestions for you. All right, so my first one for you is called Hey Baby, A Baby's Day in Doodles by Andrea Pippins. Really cute little cover right there. The doodles inside are super fun, and the doodles I think really help make the picture of the baby on each page really pop. There's individual words doodled throughout, like sleepy, nap time, kind of pointing out some of those letters. But kind of just goes through some of the different things a baby might do through the day. Maybe working or singing with some music, building, food, bath time, waking up and going to bed. So most things that a baby is going to do most days. And I like that they have the actual photographs of the baby on each page. Books that have pictures of babies are super relevant because that's what they are. And they can identify with that. So I would recommend this for birth to 18 months. Around there. You can go a little older than that, of course. My next one is also a board book called Basos for Baby, A Little Book of Kisses, written by Jen Arena and illustrated by Blanca Gomez. So this is a great bilingual board book. Bilingual books are great to use just for general language development and exposure for someone who doesn't speak the second language that's in the book. So each page, just kind of cute, simple illustrations, but all the pages have Basos in there. So like Basos Sol, Basos, Basos Viento, Basos. Basos are kisses, of course. And then the end of it shows all of the pictures that were in the book in English and in Spanish. So that is a super fun one to do as well. And board books are good for babies, especially because they're stronger, so they're not going to be able to rip those pages. All right, my next one I would like to share with you is this is a graphic novel called Smell My Foot. It's a chicken brain book by Cece Bell, who is actually the same author as El Defo. If you haven't read that one, that's also a really good one. This one is kind of a comic book style graphic novel, kind of some simple words and illustrations there. But this is Brain, this is Chick, and Brain really wants Chick to smell his foot. It has a funny play on words. I feel like you really have to look at the illustrations and make sure that you know who is saying what. When Brain wants Chick to smell his foot, Chick says, but you didn't say please. So he says, you should say, please smell my foot. So then Brain thinks that he should smell Chick's foot. So this continues on with Chick wanting Brain to say thank you and you're welcome. So it's kind of a good way to talk about how communication can get confusing sometimes, and just how you say things can affect someone's understanding. Later on in the book, they meet a dog named Spot, and he ends up smelling Chick's foot and thinks it smells much better than Brain's because he smells like chicken. So he invites him over for lunch, and Brain realizes that Spot probably wants to eat Chick, and he actually comes to save him. But then, of course, there's more hilarity that happens with the confusion of the words and how everyone's saying stuff. So I would recommend this one for second to third grade. Just kind of a fun, silly read there. I went out of order a little bit here. I'm going to go back to my picture books. So this one is called Good Boy by Sergio Rouzier. I really like how the inside cover describes this. It says, this is the story of a boy and his dog, or is it a dog and his boy? So each page only has 1 to 2 words. Starts very simple, like sit, stay, turns into a little more complicated, juggle and cook, and then gets way more complicated for like single words, to sail and build. And they show that they're building a spaceship, and then it says go. So they have left Earth and they're looking at Earth, and they say home, and then they start coming back. So I think it's really good for young ages, maybe even as young as about 1, toddlers and things as well. Just because there's not many words on each page, but I think it could be really good for the 3 to 5 as well. You can ask them what's happening on the pages, expand on some of the simple text that can help them work on some of those narrative skills that will help them learn to read later on. Here's where they build all of that. It's nice once they get to the end, it gets a lot simpler again, and they're home, they get washed, dress, read, sing, and stay, and ends with good boy. So is the dog saying good boy to the boy, or is the boy saying good boy to the dog? We'll never know. So that's a cute one for ages 1 to 5. This next one is hilarious. This is called Veg Patch Party by Claire Fogus and Al Murphy. Really fun cover, as you can see. The end papers are also really nice. I'm really a sucker for great picture book end papers. Just kind of looks like a simple illustration by a child maybe. But the plot is about these vegetables that all wake up when the farmer and the animals have all gone to sleep. So when that happens, they set up all these stages and they're going to have a veggie party time. The first act is the potato and the chips band, which I just think is really funny. There's some good vocabulary like parsnips, radish, acrobats, and lots of fun rhyming and alliteration. One of them that repeats itself multiple times is conga like a carrot, party like a pea, rock out like radishes, boogie, boogie like bean. So that's a lot of fun. There was a page here that I just wanted to point out. It says, in thunder, lightning, pouring rain, they party in all weather. So kind of a good page to ask your child why they think there might be like squiggles like that when it's talking about thunder and lightning. And I would recommend this for ages 3 to 6, but honestly, I think anybody would enjoy this book. I read this to a few coworkers, and I think they all really liked it. Got a lot of enjoyment out of it. So that is Veg Patch Party. All right, our next one that I have for you is called Felix and the Monsters by Josh and Monica Holtzclaw. So this is a story about a guard named Felix, and his job is to keep the monsters out of their area from, like there's a wall that's blocking them out because they think they must be bad. But you know, he really just wants to play his keytar, and it has like keytars and guitars on the end papers there that I thought were really cute. He really just wants to play his keytar and be in a band, but none of the other guards are really interested in that. So he's playing one day and he has lured over a monster from the other side. She introduces herself as Dot, and she said she was lured by the portable piano machine. So of course they start to jam, and they jump over the wall when the guards start coming toward them because they hear noise. And Felix discovers this whole world of monsters being creative. They're writing songs and playing music and writing poetry and painting. I think one of them is making an Eiffel Tower out of cheese. So he's pretty excited. He starts jamming with a few of his new friends. And the guards on the other side think that he's been kidnapped, so they go to save him. And they go over the wall, and they start kind of digging the music. And the way that it said they were dancing, the kind of weird dancing you only do when you think no one is looking. So they realize that they have misjudged these monsters on the other side of the wall, and they all become friends and work together to bring the wall down. So it's a great book to share with ages 3 to 5, around that age, about being open and not judging others before you get to know them. So that is Felix and the Monsters. My next one is another picture book called Sometimes Rain. Words by Meg Fleming and illustrated by Diana Sujka. I really like when they show the wind here, and the end papers here are also nice. Really, really soft, pretty illustrations, even just on that cover page there. So this has some fun and simple rhyming text of different adventures to have different seasons of the year. Most of the pages use the word sometimes, which I think really works out with the consistency of the seasons changing. as they're doing different things. They say sometimes sledding, frozen toes, so that's for winter. Sometimes dreaming, open skies in the spring. Sometimes splashing yellow sun in the summer. And for fall, sometimes piles 10 feet tall. So very much repeats that sometimes. But when we get to the end, it says it changes to always, which is a pretty obvious change, I feel like. And it says, always ready, stay or roam, always welcome. And then the very last page here says, always home. So even though things are changing, they're having all these adventures, as long as they're together, they are home. So I would recommend that for ages 2 to 5. Like I said, not a lot of text on each page, but lots of good ideas being presented in there. Okay, got a few more here. This is called The Fox and the Star, written by Coralie Bickford Smith. Now, I love foxes, so this was a fun, simple story about a fox. But where this book really shines is its illustrations. This is a close-up of the fox's eyes, and it gets real detailed. Some of the pages have just like kind of random words thrown out. Then one night fox woke and everything had changed. So it does follow a simple story about a fox who had been friends with a specific star, and Star had always helped him find his way, and just, you know, they were great friends. But one day Star disappears, and Fox is very sad, and at first he just doesn't know what to do, so he hides. But he realizes he must go out on a quest to find his star. So he goes beyond the forest where he lives and eventually finds a sky full of stars. That page is really nice, if I can find it here. Yeah, like that. And he thinks to himself, well, my star must be in there somewhere, who used to be mine. So he knows that they're there to light his way as well. It's not poetry, but it does kind of have a poetic element to it. I think it would be good to read multiple times. It's not very long, but if you're sharing it with a child, great to extend that with some questions to stimulate the imagination even more. But even if you check it out just for the illustrations, like here's a bunch of beetles crawling around, it's just amazing for that. All right, and yeah, I think I would recommend that for 2nd to 3rd grade. My next one is a nonfiction one called The International Day of the Girl, Celebrating Girls Around the World by Jessica D. Humphreys and the Han Rona Ambrose, and illustrated by Simone Shin. So this highlights 9 different characters on each of the pages that are represented and based on the reality of different girls' experiences from all over the world, different countries like Brazil, Kenya, Canada, India, the USA, are just a few of those. And all of the stories are helping to promote gender equality. So each page, they're not very long, they're pretty digestible here. I have like just a quick little story of someone, and it's nice that they don't say where it is in that paragraph. You could just read about a girl in general, and then the other little box has more informational stuff and says where that country is based on, of who that girl's experience. And that page I was just showing you, that was probably my personal favorite. It was about a girl named Hannah, and where she lived, it was actually illegal for girls to go to school. So her grandmother and other grandmothers with their granddaughters would come over. They would pretend like they were having tea and chatting, but what they were really doing was teaching these girls how to read and write, because they wanted their granddaughters to have the same opportunity that their grandsons had. And then it reveals that that was in Afghanistan, and that law has changed since then, but I thought that was super brave and great of the grandmothers to do that for their granddaughters. And it talks about how now the girls can go to school, but their rooms and things aren't as good as the boys, but they're very happy that they can get an education now. It's nice. The end of the book shows a timeline of the United Nations that is the group who started the International Day of the Girl, kind of goes through their history, started sometime in the 50s about just protecting children in general and helping them. Later they got more specific, realizing that girls have some different and additional struggles than boys typically. And a bunch of people from different countries got together in 2009, I believe it was. And then by 2011, they confirmed the day of the International Girl, which is October 11th. So a really fun read. I would recommend this for 1st to 3rd grade, but really for any ages older than that too. It has like just good basic information and some really interesting stories. I really enjoyed that one. And my last one for you is called Into the Forest, Wander Through Our Woodland World by Christiane Dorian and illustrated by Jane McGinnis. This starts with a really beautiful map showing where different forests are, kind of some general wildlife that is in each of those places. It has like different facts throughout. This is all very digestible too, kind of just have little bits of information all throughout, talking about animals and trees and how all of that works in the forest. One of the interesting pieces of information that I learned was that an oak tree can produce up to 50,000 acorns. It's so many, but only a few of those will actually grow into trees. And it talks about what the other acorns will be food for other animals and other things that they will help with them. Everything around them. So it talks about different trees, the close-up of the leaves. Yeah, like just quick, interesting details about every part of the forest, the plants, the animals, insects, everything, and just how it all functions and works together. The end details on how to plant your own tree, which I liked. And also at the end, it has forest animals and says, can you go back and spy those animals? So it's some like a red crossbill, a patoo, a capuchin monkey, probably some animals that not everyone is familiar with. I know I learned about a couple different animals in there. And then it also has a glossary and websites about conserving forests around the world. So always good to get even more resources when reading a great nonfiction book. I would recommend this for 1st through 3rd grade. All right, well, I really appreciate everyone coming to these book talks today. We are doing these on Tuesdays at 10:30 for birth through 3rd, and then Thursdays at 2 o'clock for 4th through 12th grade. So we will see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye.